Vani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshikari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Vidar Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna. Okay, so we saw how Krishna was explaining the Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga we saw in chapter 6, verse 1 to 9. And now we'll start with 6.10. Okay, Manasi, my voice is fine, no? Clear?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, now he'll speak. Krishna speaks more about Ashtanga Yoga, like what are the yama and niyamas of Ashtanga Yoga, what we are supposed to do, what we are not supposed to do, and all that. But then later on, he only says that it's not practically possible, right? In Kali, especially in Kali Yoga. But let's see, like because Krishna is giving us options. 6.10. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha ekaki yata chittatma nirashir api rigraha. So practice in the Yoga Rudha stage. This is the advanced stage of Ashtanga Yoga. He says always engaging your body and mind and itself in samadhi, living alone in a secluded place, always carefully controlling the mind, free from material desire. So here in the translation, it said that the yogi should live alone in the secluded place. So is it possible, especially in Kali Yuga, or wow, what is the disadvantage of living alone in a secluded place?
Not possible, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Not possible.
Please raise your digital hand. Yes, Lakshmi Mataji.
Mataji, it is Hare Krishna Mataji. It is not possible to live alone in secluded places in Kali Yuga, because in secluded places our mind gets to be distracted very easily. Yes. And we don't have the power to have the power of concentration as the people had during the Satyug, Treta and Dwapar. And our mind is, because our mind is very restless, we cannot focus on chanting and other, our other pious activity. It gets distracted very easily, Mataji.
Yes, and Kanjan Mataji, any example where a person got distracted living alone in a secluded place? He was doing Bhakti Yoga. Does anyone know? Yes, Manasi, who's that?
Ajamila?
Ajamila was not alone, but yes, he was not having a devotee association. That's true. This is like, yes, Rajeta Lavanya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Bharat Mataji.
Bharat Maharaj, very good. So what happened to Bharat Maharaj? He was, he left his palace and everything. He went into the forest. He was doing devotional service. But then the deer came and he got attracted to the deer. No? Yeah. So if there were like devotees around him, just imagine if Bharat Maharaj was living with the association of devotees, then what would have happened? They will say, what are you doing? You're not chanting or you're not doing any devotional service. Why are you just thinking about the deer all the time? Now the devotee association or senior, someone will guide him, and he might get not so much attracted to the deer because there are so many others around him. So it's a nice example to learn. We can't do devotional service alone. It becomes very dry. You try doing it, it's very dry. But if you live in the association of devotees, even if you're so tired, you'll get up for Mangala Arati. Even if you don't feel like chanting, you will chant because you're seeing others chanting. Even if you don't have a habit of reading Prabhupada's book, you still will read because you see others do. So they will encourage you or motivate you. Like how, Saubari Muni, Madhu Mataji gave a nice example. Yeah, Saubari. So we know for him what happened. He went into the rivers, ocean, inside the water, meditating, and there nobody was there around him. Then he saw the fishes mating and he got carried away. No, that is another example. Yes, Manasi. Vishwamitra was not alone. Gajendra was not alone. These are not so exact. This is what I'm asking is ekaki, living in a secluded place. Gajendra was always with his family. He had a family with him and all that. No, that's not the exact this thing. And Vishwamitra also, he says, yes, he's a yogi, got disturbed, but it's not mentioned he was alone because Vishwamitra had so many disciples. some disciples with him. But Bharat Maharaj is a classic example, where and Saubari Muni also went alone to do meditation, got disturbed. So living in a secluded place, how many of us can work now, do like that? Yes, Shubham Prabhu?
Mataji, Dhruv Maharaj.
Dhruv Maharaj was not disturbed, no. He was alone in the forest. He got Krishna finally. After 6 months, he got Krishna. That's another opposite of this, that he was alone, but because he's a devotee, that you should see. Bharat Maharaj was also devotee, but Krishna is showing us by example what will happen if you stay alone, live alone. But that Krishna had another plan. He should have become Jada Bharat. That was Chota Haridas had association. He was not alone. Okay, so we should always carefully control the mind, should be free from material desires and possessiveness. Then in the purport, Prabhupada mentions the 3 degrees of realization of Krishna: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So the impersonalists, they realize the Brahman aspect by meditating, and again, meditators have Paramatma realization, which is partial, direct. That's imperfect Krishna conscious, and direct is Bhagavan aspect, Satchidananda form, by doing devotional service. So impersonal Brahman is in the spiritual ray of Krishna, and super soul is all pervading partial expansion of Krishna. Only Krishna himself is the supreme personality of Godhead. That's the ultimate realization. And instruction is given to the 3 transcendentalists to constantly engage in their pursuit to come to the perfection. And then Prabhupada writes, the first business of a transcendentalist is to keep one's mind always in Krishna, concentrating the mind on the Supreme. That's called Samadhi. And 2 aspects of Vairagya is mentioned here. One is complete, that's called Yukta Vairagya, and one is Falgu, or incomplete. Anasaktasya Vishaya Yadarham Upayanjade Nirpande Krishna Sambande Yukta Vairagyam Uchyate. So Yukta Vairagyam Uchyate means using everything in Krishna service. That's called Yukta Vairagyam. They see everything, and Krishna Sambandha. Okay, seeing everything in relation to Krishna. Next is Prapanchikata Yapuddhi Hari Sambandhi Vastuna Mumukshi Viparityago Vairagyam Falgu Krityate. That means Mumukshi Viparityago, renouncing artificially, but inside having a lot of material desire. That's called Falgu. What is Falgu? Does anyone know what is Falgu? You can raise a digital hand. What is Falgu? Falgu Vairagya or Falgu? Sonia Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's a shallow river of Nepal or Gaya.
Yeah, Gaya. So it's very shallow. Right? It looks deep, but it's very shallow. So
yes,
we get we feel that we feel that, oh, it's very deep, I can't get inside it. But the moment you put your leg inside, it's like very shallow. So similarly, Falgu Vairagya means you feel like it's completely renounced, but it's not completely renounced. For example, like how falls, falls, river. But what is which animal the Falgu Vairagya is? Can you think of some animal? Looks very renounced outside, but inside have lot of desires. Yes, Lakshmi Mataji?
For Mataji, crocodile?
No. Hi, crocodile. Prafula Mataji?
Monkey Mataji.
Yeah, it's called Markada Vairagya or Monkey Vairagya. Why? Why Monkey Vairagya, Shubham Prabhu? So, why? Because a monkey, outside it looks like he doesn't have a home, he doesn't wear a dress, fully renounced. But inside, what is a monkey thinking? What sense gratification I can have? Anyone who have gone to Vrindavan, we were tired running behind monkeys. They were taking the spectacles, they were taking your phone, and they take your spurs and whatnot, and go and toss it on top of the tree. And then you have to throw fruities. Now, it's a nice business trick there that all the shops will have fruity. Even if it's some fancy shop, some other shop also stationery, still they'll have fruity with them. Why? Because they know if you throw fruity to the monkey, they catch and they drop what we are supposed to. And the specks and all, they'll start biting. They think everything is to eat. Now, the Anna Kosha, the consciousness so low. And you have to throw bananas or fruity to them, and then they throw it back. So it looks very renounced, but then outside, but inside it's having so much sense gratification. So we'll have a quick 5 minutes breakout room. We should give examples from the Shastra, especially from Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, examples showing Yukta Vairagya and Falgu Vairagya. Okay, just examples, and you should tell why You should tell the reason also, not just like that. You should say why you think that person is in Yukta Vairagya or Falgu Vairagya. Yeah, quickly, just 5 minutes. It's a group discussion. Hare Krishna. Okay. All are back? No. Group number 3 is not back. Okay. I'll unmute everyone. Hope all are back. Just give the example and tell which Vairagya they are in and why. Okay. Yes. Room number 3. Yes, Sumit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, there are two Vairagyas. So, Falgu Vairagya, we are giving the example of Chota Haridas Thakur, Durvasha Muni, and Ravan. So, these are 3 examples. And on the Yukta Vairagya, we have a live examples like Namanishta Prabhu, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and Abhay Charanavindu, in fact, our Prabhupada. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
And these are three examples, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhupada is perfect example of Yukta Vairagya. So can you give example why? I mean, the a pastime to prove like why do you say Prabhupada is in Yukta Vairagya?
So there is one pastime I just would like to quickly speak on that. So once there was some person in US, actually he asked who is actual guru and why do we believe that he is actual guru. So Prabhupada answered him that a person who is 24 hours into devotional service and basically doing the Krishna service and Krishna consciousness, he is the actual guru. If you find that kind of person, and he is the real person into the devotional service. That's what he said. So that means what I mean to say is basically Prabhupada used to be 24/7 into Krishna consciousness, only in Krishna Bhakti. Everything he used to do in Krishna service only.
Yes, okay. Room number 2, Lavanya Mataji, Manasvi, Natasha, Pampa Mataji, Prafula Mataji, Sone Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Yukta Vairagya, best example, like Prabhu told, Prabhupada and Rupa and Sanatana Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. That is Raghunath Das Goswami, for example, both for Falgu Vairagya and Yukta Vairagya, we thought that. Because before going for that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him that he's practicing now Falgu Vairagya, and that after he can come and practice Yukta Vairagya, then only he will be renounced. And Prabhupada, once he told that whatever difficulty may it be, and everyone is now they are in Vrindavan, but I also want to go to Vrindavan when he was in USA. But for my Guru Maharaj's order, I am taking that order only, and I am here practicing in preaching in Western world. That he thought. Everything he renounced, his family, his all the practices, everything he renounced and gave up and went in so much of difficulty. He went to Western world in ship with heart stroke also, and he practiced. That is a perfect example of Yukta Vairagya. And for Falgu Vairagya, we also thought of Chota Haridas and Saubhari Muni Mataji. And Chota Haridas,
Yes.
he was thinking about, inside he was thinking about sense gratification. Maybe he brought some prasadam from an woman, and he was in association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bharat Muniji also.
Okay. Yeah, room number
Hare
what?
Krishna.
Anjan Mataji, Lakshmi Mataji, the Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, for Yukta Vairagya, we can give all the Vaishnavas example, like all our Goswamis, then Bali Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, or Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur. Means all the Vaishnavas are the example of Yukta Vairagya. And if you are going to the Phalgu Vairagya, then we can say Chota Haridas Thakur, then Prajapati Daksha, because Prajapati Daksha insulted the Vaishnava, that is Lord Shiva. But he was pretending like he is a very good devotee, like that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Nice. Okay, so one of the examples of Srila Prabhupada going for Yukta Vairagya is like using everything in Krishna service. Yukta Vairagya doesn't mean even in difficulty you do devotional service. Now, that's not Yukta. Yukta Vairagya means using everything in Krishna service. In the sense, a dictaphone was used by Srila Prabhupada in translating Bhagavatam. He used to take flights to go all over the world so as to spread Krishna consciousness. So material things are also used in Krishna service because they see everything in relation with Krishna. As Ishavasyam principle of Ishopanishad says, Ishavasyamitam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagatyena taktena bujjita madrida kashyasviddana. Means Ishavasyamitam sarvam. Everything belongs to the Lord. Everything, spiritual, material, and everything is controlled by the Lord, and He is the owner, and He should be used in His service. And whatever is allotted for us, we should be satisfied with that. We should not try to take extra from others, but because everything belongs to the Lord. So Prabhupada was criticized by the other sannyasis, like, why you use an aeroplane and all. He's like, I don't have much time. I have less time to spread Krishna consciousness. And he said that before they walk and reach, I should go in the flight and spread Krishna consciousness before the Mayavadis reach there. And later on, somebody criticized, your Guru Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati could establish only 64 Gaudiya Math, but you made 108 temples all over the world. And Prabhupada was like, because my Guru Maharaj didn't use an aeroplane. Those days it was not there. But if you have given aeroplane to my Guru Maharaj, he would have built 1008 temples all over the world. Right? So, but without all that facilities, by walking and by using car and everything, roadways, he built 64 Math. So again, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati is a nice example for Yukta Vairagya, using everything in Krishna service. And yes, Phalgu Vairagya, as you all said, Raghunath Das Goswami is a nice example. I hope you don't watch my previous recording like yesterday's class and then come for this class, because I feel so many answers which are coming is from watching yesterday's recording. So please don't do that. That doesn't help you anymore. So please, somewhere doing that, even today I could see somewhere doing, don't do that. Okay, because they were using the exact words which I used. So don't use that. I know. Please don't watch yesterday's recording and come and for today's class. Like, because yesterday Monday batch is also the same type with your batch. Let me see if I can club those people, devotees to your batch. Then I can take only one batch, because I have to start a new batch later. So I have to check with them. Let's see. Okay, so here again, 11 to 14, Krishna explains about the different basic practice of Ashtanga Yoga. How do you sit? How do you fix the mind? And how do you get erect and meditating and everything? So sitting firmly in a clean, sacred, secluded place, not too high, not too low, with a deer skin on top. Why do they use a deer skin? Put in the chat. Like kusha grass is there, and they put a deer skin on top of that. Why do they use a deer skin? Is it insects or reptiles like snakes? Insects, everyone is selling insects. Might be, but then insects, more than insects, are reptiles. Okay, it protects you from reptiles and also all the snakes and everything. So that's why. But nowadays, where do we go for a deer skin? If the forest, there's animal protection people come to know that, then that's it. We can't go and get a deer skin like that. Then fixing the mind on one point, controlling the mind and senses. One should do yoga for purification of consciousness, and that is difficult. Then being erect by keeping the body, neck, head straight, being motionless and firm, staring steadily at the tip of the nose. Meditating on Lord's form, withdrawing the mind from sense object, being fearless with a vow of celibacy, making Lord Krishna the ultimate goal of life. So it's difficult, little difficult. So 11 to 12 refute the so-called yoga societies in the big cities. Now, what happens in the yoga societies? It's just becoming a business, no? More of a gymnastic style. They are not connecting to God. The big cities, they do not offer circumstances like this. First of all, they say go to a secluded place. But where do we get secluded place in the busy world? No, they're all together. And because one who's not self-controlled and disturbed in the mind cannot practice meditation. Prabhupada concludes, therefore, the best means of self-realization, spiritual realization in Kali Yuga is chanting the holy name. That's the best in Kali Yuga. That we can do together, congregation. Okay, and celibacy is also important, that we should abstain from sex indulgence in work, words, mind, at all time, under all circumstances, in all the place. And in Bhakti Yoga, celibacy is must for jnana and dhyana, but in Bhakti Yoga, household brahmacharya is allowed, in the sense they can have Krishna conscious children. So cult of Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that one automatically loses the sexual attraction, being engaged in the superior service of the Lord and experience a higher taste. Vishya vinivartate niraharasya dehina rasa varjam raso api asya param drishtva nivartate. That's what is important. Param drishtva nivartate. You get a higher taste. And about fearlessness, it also says, okay, when we become a devotee of the Lord, then there is fearlessness naturally, or else there is fear, bhaya. So what is pavarga? Does anyone know? Pavarga. Pavarga. Pa, of material life. The material life is basically pavarga. What is it? Yes, Manasi, you know?
No, Mataji, I only know that Pavarva in Sanskrit is Papavavama. The whole is known as Pavarka.
Yeah, but what does each one stand for? Okay, yes, Prafula Mataji.
For Parishrama, Mataji.
Parishrama or hard work. Then fa.
For Fena.
Fena, that's a form that's coming from the mouth. Form. Yes.
Bo, I just forgot, Mataji.
Bha is bandhana or bondage.
Bondage. Bha for bhaya.
Then bha for bhaya or bhaya, that is fear. And ma for
mrutyu.
Your death. Yes. So this is what will happen. Like in this material world, there is so much parishrama, so much hard work. People go like 2-3 hours up and down for their job, or take daily flights or trains to the job, and 10, 12, 14 hours of job. There's so much hard work. There's parishrama. Then where you see when animals work so hard, there'll be foam that's coming. And then there is bandhana, bondage. You become so attached, and there is reactions coming. And there is bhaya. Oh, will I lose a job, or will I get promotion? And so many anxieties. And ma is mrityu. There is death comes finally. So this is what fear is about in this material world. Cause of fear is because of our forgetfulness of our relationship with the Lord. That is, Jivera Sorobai Krishna and Nityadas. We are Krishna's eternal servant. And also, Bhagavatam explains, Payam Dvidya Binivesha Syat Isha Aptasya Viprayo Asmriti Tanmayeto Buddha Abhijetam Bhaktyak Khayesham Guru Devatatma. The fear will be arising from the living entities. Why? Because we misidentify ourselves with the body, because of absorption, the external illusionary image of the Lord. When the living entity thus turned away from the Supreme Lord, he forgets his constitutional position as servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency of illusion called Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unenrolled devotion service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and his very life and soul. So, fear is always there. But when you go to Vaikuntha, there is Vikata Kunta. That means there is no anxiety, there is no fear. So Ashtanga Yoga is not meant for health improvement or entering into void or gymnastic feats or magical jugglery. Nowadays it's becoming like that. It's just gymnastic and health improvement. And a description of the Param Dhama is also given by Prabhupada, Supreme Abode. There is where there is no sun, moon or electricity. Which is that sloka, Mansi, you know? Natat Pashe De Suryo.
Yes, Mataji. Natad bhashe te suryo na shashanko na pavakha yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama.
Good. So there is no Shashanga, or there is no sun, moon, electricity, because it's self-effulgent. So there's Brahmachoti, it's effulgent from the Lord, and Yatgatva, once you go, there's no coming back. And Lord always resides in Goloka, and there's also there as Paramatma and Brahman. Goloka eva nivishati atilatma. So what is the qualification to reach the kingdom of God for any yogi? Through proper understanding of Krishna's position and planetary expansion. And one can overcome the path of birth and death only by understanding the Lord. Yes, Mataji?
Mataji, recently there was a news about in the Jagannath temple, the deities have been nibbled by the rats. So, so is it a prediction from the Srimad Bhagavatam that there won't be any deity worship in the future?
Nothing like that. That's some rats or others. Nothing like that. Yes, deity worship will not be there later on because everything will be abolished. Even the book, the Shastras won't be there after some 10,000 years. Prabhupada predicted that the Prabhupada's book are the law books for next 10,000 years. After that, what? Kali Yuga is going to be so degraded. Temples will be demolished and there's no deity worship and nothing. It's already predicted in Bhagavatam. Rats and this have nothing to do. It's not the rats who's going to do. It's actually human beings only going to destroy everything because Kali Yuga is going to be so bad. That's why we should escape before that. And it's going to be degraded. Bhagavatam I've already predicted. So only holy name is going to stay. So Hare Nama will stay. And okay, so we should be careful that to use this opportunity and go back to Krishna in this life. So 16 to 17, again, he says about balancing eating, sleeping, and renunciation and work. That's very important to balance eating, sleeping, and all. So for a yogi. Okay, in any yoga, Bhakti yoga, Dhyana yoga, Ashtanga yoga, because it's very important. Regulation of body is essential in spiritual life. It provides peacefulness and fit body conducive for spiritual life. And diet, don't eat too much or too little. It's the best that one eat only the remnants of the foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Don't sleep too much or too little. In regulation, the habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work in yoga mitigates all material sufferings. So it says, Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chedasya karmasya, yukta soptava bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. 6 hours maximum sleep, and more than that is tamoguna. Less is also bad because if you sleep less, what happens? You'll try to sleep in the japa session. No. So we should sleep correctly, and we should plan the day like that. And then yukta ahara. Even Prabhupada says you should eat only half of your stomach. 1/4 should be water, 1/4 should be for air. So then it's like balanced. So there's so much of comparison in Ashtanga Yoga and Krishna consciousness. You can see in Ashtanga Yoga and Krishna consciousness, there is constant engagement of body, mind, and the self. And impersonalists and yogis are partially, imperfectly or indirectly Krishna conscious, but the devotees directly related to the Lord. Ashtanga Yoga, they have to live in a secluded place to avoid disturbance, but devotees always have to stay in the association of good devotees. Sangha, sadhu sangha sarva shastra hoy, lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi. We have to stay in the association of devotees. Otherwise, bhakti is very difficult and Maya can touch us. So Ashtanga Yoga struggle hard to fix the mind of the Lord, but Krishna conscious devotee always is thinking about the Krishna, either in chanting or hearing Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, right? So a prerequisite to practice Yoga Rudha stages, perfect determination, one should not hanker after unnecessary material things. In direct Krishna consciousness, there is a right in the beginning stages where there's little chance of material possessiveness. And also in Ashtanga Yoga, we have to sit so many manner of sitting, like not too high, too little, deer skin, kusha grass, straight. Nothing like that in Krishna consciousness. We can sit, walk, stand and chant, no problem. Unless you have some disease, you don't have to lie down and chant because you'll sleep. Then for Ashtanga Yoga, celibacy is must. But in Krishna consciousness, Grihastha Brahmachari is accepted, and Krishna consciousness is the only one to be fearless. And Ashtanga Yoga, that is the Lord is meditated in the heart, and devotees always see Krishna everywhere. And in Ashtanga Yoga, Krishna in the heart of every living entity, and Krishna consciousness is the Supreme Lord himself. And also, what happens in Ashtanga Yoga, all the material activities, as cessation is there, but a devotee, what he does, use everything in Krishna service and is absorbed in Krishna, like Ambarish Maharaj. And a yogi should eat only what is required to keep the body and soul together. Too much eating is not good. But for a devotee, he also eats and fasts according to the scriptures, like Ekadashi and all. No artificial concocted fasting. And he takes only Krishna Prasad. Prabhupada says we are not vegetarian, we are prasadarians. Now we take prasad. And in Ashtanga Yoga, only food in goodness. Food must be offered to yajna. Otherwise, there'll be sin. And sleeping not more than 6 hours, then it's lazy and dreaming. And Krishna consciousness person follows Avyartha Kalatam. What is Avyartha Kalatam? Does anyone know? Avyartha Kalatam, Vashu Rupa Goswami and Srila Haridas Thakur have done. This is one of the symptoms in bhava. What is Avyartha Kalatva? No? Yes, Lakshmi Mataji. Kanchan Mataji, you didn't speak today.
Mataji, a Krishna conscious person cannot bear a minute of his life without engagement in Krishna's activities. So
Yes.
that
He keeps checking. Good. He keeps checking whether I am able to do Krishna conscious activities, or am I wasting my time? He doesn't waste a moment, right? So that's called Avyartha Kalatam. Everything. Like take, for example, Srila Prabhupada. Not even one moment is wasted without Krishna God. So we should also keep checking. Where am I losing my time? Every one of us have time, but somewhere we are wasting it. Avyartha Kalata means they keep checking whether they have wasted their time or not. Okay. And so previously Krishna says how to meditate. Now Krishna will describe the perfect stage of Ashtanga Yoga. In 18 to 19, Krishna is mentioning about Ashtanga Yoga here. Why the yogi become perfect when his consciousness remains perfectly fixed in the self. That is 18 and 19. Yada viniyatam chittam atmani eva vitashtate nispriha sarva kamebhyo yukta iti uchyate tada. When the yogi, by the practice of yoga, disciplines and mental activities, and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. Manasi, you can chant that verse from Bhagavatam. You can see the purport 6.18 about Ambarish Maharaj. Savai Mana Krishna Pada Aravindeyo.
Mataji, I have not memorized that.
No, you look and sing. Say, take the book or Veda base. 6.18 purport. You saw the verse? Bhagavatam 9th canto 4th chapter 18 to 20. Be ready, yeah? I'll finish this slide. So criteria for perfection of yoga is all mental activities are disciplined and they are situated in transcendence, free from all material desire. So this is the distinguishing characteristic of yogi and ordinary man, especially that it's desire. It's automatic and easy and practical for Krishna conscious person to engage all his senses in Krishna service. This is what is Ambarish Maharaj did. And Prabhupada quotes that full sloka. This is where a nice sloka, you can memorize it. It's Kantastha, because this is how we should engage our senses. So the process of engaging all the senses in the service of Lord is Archana. Okay, Archana can be done. And perfect yogi is less like a lamb in the windless place, does not waver. Similarly, perfect yogi, steady in his mind, is in Samadhi, does not waver. You got it? Or should I?
Yes, Mataji, I got the shloka.
Sing.
Yeah. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayor vajausi vaikuntha gunanuvardhane karau harir mandir shrutai jakarachyuta satkathodaye.
Continue. There are like 2 more.
Okay, Mataji.
Mukundalinga.
Yeah. Mukundalingalaya darshani drishau tadbhritya gatra sparshenga sangamam ghranai cha tatpada sajoja saurabhe shrimat तुलस्यारसनं तदर्पिते पादौ हरिक्षेत्रपदानुसर्पणि शिरो हृषीकेशपदाभिवन्दने कामै च दास्येन तु काम्यया यथोत्तमश्लोकजनाश्रया रतिः.
Very nice. Okay, so that's how Ambarish Maharaj included all his senses in Krishna consciousness. We are also doing the same thing. Like with the eyes, we see the deities of the Lord. With the tongue, we are chanting the holy name. We are not trying to taste prasadam. With ears, we hear Achyuta Krishna Katha. With nose, we smell the flowers offered to Krishna. All the senses. With leg, we go to the temple, do parikrama and all. Hands, we serve the Lord, make bhog. So in that way, what happens? The mind will automatically be controlled. And 20 to 23, there's just all the slokas together. It says about realization of the yogi in perfection. In happiness, one experiences boundless transcendental happiness by direct experience of the soul and super soul within the heart. Now, everyone started getting that happiness in Krishna consciousness. That's why we want more. Now, we are not leaving, or we are staying because of that happiness. And we become fixed up. One's focus never depart from the truth. And the highest gain is one thinks no greater gain is possible. And one remain unshaken even amongst great difficulties and freedom. They are free from all miseries arising from material contact. So the purport is, the Prabhupada mentions, the primary characteristic of yoga is one becomes gradually detached from material concern. It's not possible. Detachment is not completely possible in this material world. We'll be always attached. So what to do? Prabhupada's like, let the attachment be there, but change the attachment. If you are attached to sense objects, instead of that, there is Punarjanma. Instead of that, the same attachment, you shift it to devotees and Krishna. Then Moksha Dwaram Apavritam. There will be opening of the gates of liberation. So same attachment. So only a stone will not have attachments. We all have attachment desires, but then it should be turned towards the Lord. So actual Samadhi is the yogi realizes the super soul through transcendental mind and intelligence. That's called real Samadhi. And he also says about transcendental pleasure that we have, that is understanding soul and the super soul as eternal individual identity. There are identities. It's not merging like the impersonalism. Okay. And unauthorized commentators try to identify the individual soul with super soul, and the monists think that this is true liberation. But they do not understand the real purpose of the Patanjali system. And Patanjali system accepts transcendental pleasure, but the monists do not accept this. They say Brahmacharya Jagat Mithya. They say this world is false, and they don't try to enjoy. And Prabhupada tried to explain the Patanjali Yoga Sutra by saying that Kaivalya, the Chitti Shakti of Patanjali, reveals the true nature of living entity. This Chitti Shakti or internal potency is transcendental. And Purushartha means material religiosity, economic development, sense enjoyment. At the end, they attempt to become one with the Lord. They want to become one with the Lord. That's not right now. How they can become one with the Lord. In quality, yes, we are one, but in quantity, we are different. It's called Achidya Beda Beda Tattva. Then oneness with the Supreme means Kaivalyam. They want to become one, the impersonalist. But that is Kaivalyam Naragayade. That's not the right thing. No? So according to Patanjali, this Kaivalyam is an internal or transcendental potency by which the living entity become aware of his constitutional position. Okay, that is very important. This we already mentioned. Two types of samadhi, samprajnada and asamprajnada, means to become situated in the transcendental position by various philosophical research. And there is in asampraja, there is no connection with mundane pleasure. One is then transcendental to all sort of happiness derived from senses. Okay, and here it is said that once situated in the position transcendental to all material mundane pleasures is never shaken from it. Okay, without reaching this position, yoga is unsuccessful. That's why we cannot do this yoga in Kali Yoga, because to reach samadhi, it takes a lot of lifetime. But in Bhakti Yoga, you can reach perfection in one life. So today's so-called yoga practice involves various sense pleasures, which is contradictory to this. And they are intoxication and all. Say yogis attracted by any byproducts of the yoga. They want siddhis. You have a lot of ashtasiddhis, anima, mahima, legima, can become lighter than the lightest. Normally they do yoga practice and control the breath and all for that, so that they can float in the water. Now all these things, which is not perfect. But conclusion is Krishna consciousness is the best yoga. Why? One gets full happiness in his occupation and does not aspire for any other happiness, and one make the best use of a bad bargain. That means he meets bodily demands without arousing sensual pleasure, and he's so fixed up, okay, and material upheavals do not affect his duty, and we are alert in Krishna conscious activities. The 24th sloka says, Sa nishayena yoktavyo yoga anirvinna chedasa sankalpa prabhavan kamabs tyaktva sarvan asheshata Manasaivendriya Gramam Viniyamya Samatata. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith, not deviating from the path, and one should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation, thus control the senses on all sides by the mind. So finally, the chapter says that unless you control your mind and senses, it's not you won't be able to advance in spiritual life or any yogic practice for that matter, bhakti yoga or any other yoga. You have to control our senses and the mind. And the best process is to engage in devotional service. That's the only way. Otherwise, in Kali Yuga, it's difficult. So we'll have a small breakout room. It is to discuss this relevant of the statement in 6.24 about determination. How determination is in this is a practical application, a personal application in your life as a practicing devotee. You're doing sadhana, bhakti, you're practicing. So how is this term called determination so important in your spiritual life? Okay, so we'll just have a breakout room for the 5 minutes. I'll post the question in the chat so that you copy it from the chat and post it in your breakout room chat. Okay, same room, we can go to the same room where we went last time. So please copy this. Okay, all of you just copy this and then you can post it when you go to your breakout room. Okay, just come back. So how is this statement that is on determination so important in your personal practice of devotional service? You can't copy. Why? Okay, just note down determination. Hi Krishna, so all are back. Okay, so we'll start from room number 1. Who's going to stay about this? Should be personal application, okay? Yeah. I've unmuted everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, recently I was able to see one video. In that video, I saw one devotee whose hands were cut off. He was having up to the wrist only. On the wrist, the left side of the wrist, he was keeping the japamala. On the right side of the wrist, he was slowly moving and chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. This is the meaning of determination.
Yeah.
She wants to complete the ISKCON. Maybe in this Janma he is not having the hand. Definitely he will get a good one.
Yeah.
So likewise, we should make the program like we should attend the sadhana. Simply we should practice that strictly. By attending the temple program, we should chant 16 rounds compulsorily. Without that, we should not take the food. We should hear Bhagavatam from the senior devotees, and we should read books written by Prabhupada. We should have association with devotees, and we should follow the 4 regularity principles. And finally, we should go for eating only Krishna Prasadam. That one example also discussed. We should have determination like the bird who attempted to dry up the ocean, which stole her eggs, and Garuda came to help the bird. And the thing is, we should practice with great determination because God helps those who help themselves. That is the thing we discussed.
Okay, nice. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, from room number 2.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. So we discussed that. Yes, we discussed that Prabhupada said that we should be we should be always determined, and we should always do our devotional service without deviation. And Rupa Goswami also says that one should execute the process of bhakti yoga successfully with full-hearted enthusiasm, perseverance, and determination. So we should always be determined, and we should do devotional service with full heart and enthusiasm, like the little sparrow. That story also we discussed, that the little sparrow, her eggs were taken away by the ocean, so she was determined that she will take out her eggs from the ocean. So she drank little by little, and then Garuda saw that the little sparrow, that he was so determined, so he came and he said to the ocean that you see, this little sparrow is so determined, you're not returning her eggs. If you do not return her eggs, then I will drink up the whole ocean. So like that, we should also be determined, Mataji.
Very nice. Yeah, the sparrow example is very nice. Yes. Room number 3.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Unlike the first 2 rooms, our discussion was absolutely different. Though Srila Prabhupada, through his sheer determination and receptive attitude, allowed, he saw everybody rejoice the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and he explained how they can be always, high on that Maha Mantra. Unlike that, today, despite our efforts, we are able to chant through little determination, and getting up in the morning is a challenge, chanting is a challenge. So determination, frankly speaking, for everybody spells a different note, and joining the class is probably one place where we are learning things through the stories. We are trying to discipline our determination. So these stories are helping, Bhagavatam is helping, Bhagavad Gita is helping. Determination is only standing feebly, but it is standing, and chanting is going strong with everybody in the group.
Good. Nice. So yes, determination is actually a key role in spiritual life, because unless we're determined, we're not going to reach there. So you can be not serious, you can be not like when some days when you get up, you have a headache, or you feel like very lazy to get up. The mind always keep you to snooze the mobile, and you skip like one day, it's okay. If chanting is not done, the mind will give so many things. But if you're determined, yes, you'll get up. If your goal is fixed, if you have that goal, yes, I want to progress in devotional life, or I want to reach that place. So definitely that comes. But yes, as Mata said, association is very important.